This is Jasminum polyanthum. We call it Pink Jasmine. It's not listed in the book that way, but you'll see pictures of the close-up of the flowers, and the buds before they pop open are kind of a pink color, so a lot of people will call this Pink Jasmine. So very popular evergreen vine, hardy into the low 20s, I would say, and so like many vines, and as you can see here, the reason I'm using this as an example is I want people to understand that when you use this vine, as with many others, they have control issues. They want to grow to vertically upwards, and so they're going to keep going wherever they can. You can see how it's grown up into this gutter and also over to the side here. This gets trimmed once a year or so, is in bad need of a trim right now. And you can see how it'll even tendril back on itself, looking for something to grab onto. Here are its little tendrils. So I use this a lot, actually. It's a good one for fencing if you've got something to support it on, or we also use wire, galvanized or zinc coated wire on a wall. Let me show you what that looks like. If you see here, we've used an eye screw to connect it to the wall, and then we just use this lightweight zinc coated wire, and that's all they need to hold on to. That avoids the need for any kind of built trellis, and you just really don't need this. Fairly lightweight vine, so you don't need any massive support structure. Now if you look at this, you'll see that it's pretty bare down here at the bottom. What I tell people is when this starts to happen, one of the things you can do is you can come in and make a few cuts down at the bottom to encourage some lower growth. Because I've got a hydrangea over here, I'm not that worried about it, but I would like it if that spot right in there was filled in better instead of all this growth up on top. So that's just a matter of how much work you want to do. This needs a bad trim. There's a video. There's a little hummingbird checking it out. Hey there. Check him out. Wow. Curious. So the main reason people like this is they've got an evergreen vine that you can use as a cover on a wall or on a wood fencing or something like that, and also obviously the bloom. These bloom pretty early, probably March, April, May, depending on how early in the season it gets warm, and the fragrance is very intense, very sweet smelling, different than the star jasmine that a lot of people are used to. And if you have a situation where you want to have a client that wants fragrance, this is certainly a great opportunity to use this plant, and then in conjunction with star jasmine, because their bloom cycles follow one another. This finishes blooming usually by May, and then right after that in June, star jasmine starts to kick in. So they're kind of nice together along with gardenias. Those three are a nice fragrance trio that I've used on a number of occasions. So what I'd say about this is just know that it's going to ramble. I've seen it crawling all over the ground in certain applications, and you really want to make sure it's got something to hold on to on a vertical surface. Otherwise this thing is going to just take over. And the other thing that's good about this situation is there's a way to contain it. It really doesn't have anywhere else it can go except the wire that I've provided for it, and up here in the roof. So you gotta make sure that however you situate this thing, you think about what it could do and where it could go, and whether you're creating too much maintenance for the person who you're using this for. So that's Pink Jasmine. Very nice vine, especially for fragrance. Nice deep green evergreen color, kind of an interesting leaf there. But just make sure you understand what its potential is to spread, because that can become a real headache if you put it in the wrong spot. Secondly, on the maintenance, you'll see that there's still some dead flowers on there. The thing is you can usually shake this plant off pretty good, and most of those will fall off. So the maintenance on it isn't too bad, but one of the things I do to maintain it is I trim it after the blooms have finished, and in that way I'm deadheading at the same time I'm containing the plant. And that's what I would recommend, is at the end of the bloom around June, just come in and do a light trimming like you can see in that video, and that's a good way to contain the plant and tighten it up at the same time you clean it up for the season.